Hey guys, welcome back. Joe here from 9 to 5ers, and we're continuing our working from home series here. This is going to be part 2 of 3, and this is actually in the workday. This is probably the biggest part of it, and it's going to be what you're going to be focusing on most. And you might have to watch this video a couple times to kind of get all the tips and tricks out of it. But we want to just jump right into it here, and feel free to check us out at 9 to 5ers on Facebook, and always watch for our videos coming up on YouTube, because we are here to make you smarter today and richer tomorrow. Quick disclosure here. Go ahead and read that, guys. If you want to stop the video, go ahead. But we're going to jump right into it right now. So the course so far here is prepare from work from home, set yourself up for success. And then we've already covered that in the last video. Now let's get into the workday of productive, fun, and healthy. Yes, it can be all three of those things. And then in our last video that'll be coming up after this one will be how to end your day right, plus some bonus tips. So execute. We got to execute. So let's just kind of make sure we're all on the same page here. Planning and the morning routine are 100% complete. We're done with that. So let's just jump right into the daily workflow and flexible structure. Now, those are two words that kind of could mean two different things, but you need to marry them together in holy matrimony, so to speak. And let's start with structure. You got to have your morning routine structured out, and you got to make sure that your planning is structured out, and it's a habit that you are executing every single day, every single week. The workday itself needs to be structured as well, but you have to allow for flexibility. And think of the structure as kind of like the pace car. Like, that's the thing you kind of want to be looking at every hour, every 2 hours, every half an hour, and just being like, okay, am I following my structure, or am I completely off the rails here? Like, if you're close or you're on it, then great. If you've fallen off completely, then figure out why and try to get back onto it. You're never going to have a completely flawless, structured day that doesn't have any sort of interruptions or curveballs thrown at you, just like you would have in an office. The problem is that working from home, you're going to have the opportunity for way more flexibility to come in and mess up your day, because you can not get work done and go and do laundry and go and go grocery shopping. Like, no one is physically watching you, making sure that you're on task, doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I want to try to create a template schedule here for you guys to kind of follow or base, or using as a jumping off point, so that you can take it and then turn it into your own structured day that allows for flexibility. So me personally, what I do is I start my day before the quote unquote 9 to 5 people do. So what that means is that I've done my bathroom routine, I've had my healthy breakfast, and I've done my words of affirmation, I've reviewed my goals, and now I'm up here, and it's maybe 7:15, we'll say. And the first thing I do is I answer all of my priority after hours emails. Anything that came in after hours, or someone that's kind of waiting on me to respond for something, like they're waiting on me. So what I do is anybody that sent a message to me via text or email, I respond back to them in the same format, so that the ball is in their court and they aren't calling me when they get to work and interrupting my day, wanting to know the answer to a question that they asked me 8-9 hours ago, and they're expecting it and they're following up. This is a good way to stop people from interrupting your day by just giving them what they needed in the first place, what they were trying to get in the first place. And I don't spend a lot of time on this, 5-10 minutes tops, and then I'm on to my big goals. And my big goals have already been ranked, planned, and they are ready for me to execute. I am now the worker bee inside of my schedule. And what I do is I focus on goal number 1, and then I take a break. And then I focus on goal number 2, and I take a break. And then I focus on goal number 3, and I take a break. And I might have 3 goals for that day. I might have 1 giant goal that day. It doesn't really matter. But between the big things that need to get done, I always take a break or a lunch or I exercise or something, because you are mentally, maybe even physically drained after doing one of these goals, and you need to recharge those batteries. And we'll get into breaks here in a minute, but if you see here, I spent only 5 to 10 minutes doing busy work at the beginning of the day. And the only reason I did that quote unquote busy work is so that people won't interrupt me during my big goal session. I only did that so that I could plow the way and clear the way to get to my big goals. So after those big goals are done at around 10 a.m., and I put 10 a.m. down here just as an arbitrary number. I do all of my priority outbound calls. Anybody that I need to respond to or get a hold of, or I needed the information to from them, I do that around 10 a.m. Now, I say 10 a.m. because that's what my schedule says. Now, that doesn't mean I get it done at 10 a.m., but there's a reminder that goes off on my phone that says, hey, priority calls need to maybe start getting done at this point at 10 a.m. Now, you're thinking to yourself, how do you get done all of your big goals from 7:15 to 10 a.m.? Well, I normally don't. So what I would do is, if I got one of my big goals done and it's close to 10 a.m., I would do my outbound calls at that time and get any information. Now, if I can push it back to later in the day before the close of business, then I will. But if it's something that is time sensitive and I need to get the answer to it right now, then I'll get one of my big goals done, and then I'll focus on an outbound call. And these are priority only calls. Little stuff. This gets done at the end of the day or if time allows. And I don't care if I don't get done any of the little stuff at the end of the day, because little stuff is classified as little stuff because it doesn't really matter. It's something that needs to get done, and no one can completely delegate all the little stuff for themselves. But it's got to get done, but it's not really a priority. My last 15 minutes, I am reviewing my top 2s. And this is something that's going to be very, very important when you first start working from home. And it's going to be kind of less important as you kind of get used and acclimated to working from home. So I write down 2 things that worked out great, like what really went great today. And then I also write down 2 things that could use some growth. Like, where did I kind of fall off of the mark? Was it something that I could have avoided? Was it just an anomaly? Was it something that I couldn't have changed at all? Should I put a gap in my schedule for things that pop up? Like, do I need to add 30 minutes of just blank time in my schedule just for things that could possibly happen? There's just, what you're trying to do is you're trying to create a pattern and just kind of see how this experiment is running from working at home, and see what is working and what is not, and how you can make it better. And I always outline and plan what I need to do tomorrow based on what happened today. Everybody knows that, at least for me, it seems like Mondays are always just, they can be totally random of what can get done and what can't get done. And it seems like as the week kind of goes forward, you can kind of plan a lot easier, and things seem to kind of happen when they're supposed to happen, but Mondays can be all over the map. So I've noticed that sometimes, at least in my life, that my Tuesday is heavily dictated on what happened on Monday. And a lot of times, if you didn't get the little stuff done on Monday, do those little things become a priority on Tuesday because they're more time sensitive by Tuesday now? Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. The whole point of planning your next day at the end of the day that you're currently on is to just make things streamlined for the next day and make it easier. Breaks and meal times. Breaks and meal times are non-negotiables. Like, don't get lost in the ether and the zone, so to speak, for hours and hours and hours on end. Like, do something that you need to get done, like one of your big goals, and then take a break and eat something if it's time to have lunch or a healthy snack. Don't just blow through this, because you can probably burn through one full day and just nonstop, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday comes around and you're going to be burnt out and tired, and the rest of your days and the rest of your week's just going to fall apart because you're just burnt out and tired. You're not going to want to work anymore. So like I said, breaks after a big task has been completed and before the next one begins. So that's you recharging your mental battery, your physical batteries. Maybe you go out for a walk. Maybe you talk to somebody on social media. Maybe you do some push-ups in your office, something to get the blood flowing. Maybe you just do something mindless. Maybe you just play video games on your phone for 10 minutes. We'll get a little bit more into that later on, but they got to be time bound, and set a timer and stick to them. If you take a lot of breaks, then a lot of little breaks, then maybe get them closer to 5 minutes. And if you take less breaks, then, they can go up to 15 minutes. And the point of it is what I'm trying to say here is this is structured flexibility. You have to be flexible inside of your structure. So if you need a lot of 5-minute breaks, then take a lot of 5-minute breaks that day. But if you need just a few 15-minute breaks that are longer to really recharge your batteries, then do that. It's just do whatever is going to work for you and make the most productive things happen. Don't be so rigid that you just stick to a schedule just to stick to the schedule for the sake of it. But also don't be so flexible to the point where everything is just a giant, you have no idea what's going to happen that day. And for your mind, if you're recharging, anything that's positive that's going to take your mind off of work, try to stay away from the toxic social media nonsense that's going on. Don't go down, don't watch, and yourself, like whatever is going to get you fired up or irritated or mad, avoid that, because that's going to linger in your head when you go back to work. Body, walking, stretches, running, and even a nap. And the nap can kind of do both for the mind and the body. And working from home, I take naps. I will take a nap in the afternoon time between 2 and 3 o'clock if I need to, because 2 and 3 o'clock generally means that I've gotten my one big thing out of the way that I need to get done. And the rest of the day is maybe little stuff, or just some outbound calls, or maybe I got one big thing left, but I just can't attack it unless I take like a 30 or 45-minute nap. And make sure that you stay social, like introverted, extroverted, doesn't matter. You need to get out there and fill that social tank up again. And working from home can be lonely. You're sitting up in an office by yourself. You don't see people. You're not interacting with people. It's basically just you and a screen. And getting work done, and try to see someone in real life if you possibly can. Zoom is kind of if you have to that way, but if you can see someone in real life, that's great. And I always try to stack what I'm trying to do. So if you go for a walk with a friend on your break, your 30 or 40-minute break, or your lunch hour, then you're not only getting that social aspect of it, but you're getting your mind in the right direction, and you're also walking and stretching and getting your body back to where it needs to be, getting that blood flowing, heartbeat, all that kind of stuff. So try to stack as much as as often as you can. Mealtime. Meals need to be healthy and energizing. And I'm going to say the office work, which is it's so-and-so's birthday, or it's Donut Tuesday, and there's vending machines that are always stocked all the time, and the fast food, hey, we're going out to lunch, where do you want to go? Like, well, since I'm here, I might as well fall off the wagon completely. Those excuses are gone now. Like, you are working from home. There's no reason for you not to be eating healthy. So the office cliche excuses of us sitting there and gaining weight or eating processed sugars and just the bad stuff, stay away from that. And you can do that. And actually in video, I think 3, we kind of get in some hacks for that. So energy dense foods, oatmeal, eggs, salads, chicken, soybeans, nuts, whatever is going to give you that energy that's going to last throughout the day. Coffee's okay, but it's also caffeine and it's a stimulant. But try to find something that is going to be energy dense and is going to give you sustainable energy for the rest of the day. And people, that the difference between eating a chicken salad versus eating a burger and fries and a milkshake at a fast food place, how you're going to feel 2 hours from now. That salad almost like kind of kicks you in the butt and makes you move and makes you feel better. That burger and fries, I mean, it's almost like strapping lead weights to your legs and your body and trying to move. It just doesn't work. Time bound, obviously, 30 to 45 minutes. Take an hour if you need to. I mean, if you go and you get all of your big stuff done before lunch, then take, an hour lunch. That's where your flexibility comes in. And if you need to recharge and you deserve it. But if you're behind the 8 ball, or if things just aren't going the way they're supposed to be going, or maybe your tanks aren't as low as what they would be if you knocked out everything, they're kind of just slightly depleted, then take a shorter lunch. That's where your flexibility comes in. And then, of course, stack it as often as you can. Healthy lunch with a friend in real life. Nothing better than that. Exercise. I do this before I go on my lunch hour. So my lunch hour is about 2 hours because I exercise and then I take a shower, and I also then I eat a healthy protein focused lunch there. And you want to get the blood flowing, you want to get your heart pumping, and you're getting to do things that you didn't get to do necessarily when working in an office place. And if you do a more you do a more mental based job, then your mental fatigue is going to be really high right before lunch or right before you need to exercise. And you're going to be like feeling wiped out, burnout, tired. You're going to be like, I need to take a real break. And exercise, getting the body tired actually seems to recharge the mind a little bit. And that's where you need to be. So time bound, what I do is I change into my workout gear. I go for a run, and then I shower and I change back in. Just make sure that you're accounting for all the time that you're not going to be quote unquote being productive at work. Like, I need to make sure I set enough time aside for changing, working out, shower, and then changing back into my work attire and then going back to work. And of course, avoid the negatives. And I put news and social media, and it's sad that I got to put that up there, but we all know what the negatives are. Don't get drained mentally from whatever is getting blasted on the news or social media at this current time. Like, social media, if you can use it for social interacting, then that's fine. Then that's what you use it for. But we also know that social media and news is a great place to find just terrible things that make us all sad and depressed. So, guys, what do you think about this video? This was the End the Workday. Was it as detailed as you want it to be? Was it too detailed? Let me know what you've struggled with most in your normal workday. And check us out at 9to5ers on Facebook. Please like, comment, subscribe, and join us for our finishing third video, which is after the post-work time and also the bonus tips. Thank you guys so much. Have a good one.